Lakers beat the Nuggets on Saturday night, 123-100. Really impressive from Luka, impressive from LeBron. I thought really impressive from J.J. Redick. We've got the Golden State Warriors, 5-1 since the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. I think Golden State's legit in the Western Conference. And OKC rolling right now. The Thunder rolling. SGA 37 yesterday as the Thunder beat the Wolves in Minnesota. They host Minnesota coming up tonight. No Rudy Gobert. Femi, give me your state of the Western Conference right now, and let's first do it through the lens of LeBron, Luka, and the Los Angeles Lakers.
It's wow when you watch the Los Angeles Lakers, and it shouldn't be because you look at it on paper, you say a team with Luka Doncic and LeBron James, yeah, they're going to be pretty good, but for some reason, like, seeing is believing when you see these things kind of come together, and I always thought that this was going to be a team that, like, in the future would be good once they kind of get a good roster around Luka, but they're good right now, and the thing that really stands out to me is that they get awesome looks. Like, I was watching the game Saturday night, just hanging out, chilling at home, and I'm tweeting. I'm like, dude, like, the Lakers are going to get great looks against damn near anybody because they have two of the best elite playmakers in the NBA. Like, at some point or another, like, there's never a time where LeBron and Luka are off the court. One of them is always on the court, if not both of them on the court, which is a nightmare for any defense outside of, like, maybe OKC. Maybe those guys can handle it, but even then, that's going to be a really big challenge for them because we just saw Luka take out OKC last year in the Western Conference semifinals. Now you add LeBron James as his running mate, like the biggest, like, basketball computer in the history of the league in terms of, like, how his mind works and how he sees the game. It's incredible. And Austin Reeves, like, shout out to him. He's leveled up his game as well to where, like, he's kind of like a fringe third-team All-NBA guy. Probably not going to get there, but is still a really talented player and can be a playmaker in his own right. And all of a sudden, this Lakers offense is cooking. Now, I've been very critical of the defense, and I'll continue to be critical of the defense. I think they'll have some of their shortcomings once they play better teams. It's funny that you see this matchup with Denver because Denver used to own them, and now it's a tricky matchup for the Nuggets because, like, the Nuggets don't have the versatile guys. Like, the Nuggets are very much
do you think
like
that was a one-off? Like, curious what you think about that, because I think that's fascinating,
so.
right? Is that a one-off, or do you think, like, the Lakers now have kind of the strategic, like, chess matchup advantage now over the Denver Nuggets with Luka in the fold? And also, to be fair, with J.J. Redick now as the head coach.
Yeah, I think it's a sign of what's to come if we do get that series in the playoffs. Like, not that it's not going to be a 4-0 sweep, but I think the Lakers would win that series just because, like, what the Nuggets do, like they have specialists. Like, Aaron Gordon, yeah, like, he's great in the dunker spot and is, like, a really good defender. Jokic is, like, the elite playmaker. Murray's the bucket getter. Brown is kind of like the defensive guy. But there's nobody that's, like, super versatile that can do both. There's nobody that's on that team that's like, okay, they're really good defensively and offensively. And you want five guys, especially with Luka and LeBron and Reeves in the lineup, you want five guys to where they're going to be attacking and are credible offensively to make those guys defend. I don't think the Nuggets roster makes those guys have to defend, which is where they come up short a little bit. At least LeBron in this stage of his career, Luka's never really been a terrific defender, and Reeves is like a traffic cone out there. So, like, those guys not having to defend where they can rest on some of these, like, sort of like defense first guys and like, oh, like, Luka, let's just have you hang out on Aaron Gordon or something like that, or let's have you hang out on this person and get to rest. And then on the other side, you can be the playmaker. They don't ask the questions of the Lakers that the Lakers don't want to answer, to where now I think it's a good matchup for LA. Like, if the Lakers had to run up against Boston, I think that'd be problematic. Because, like, Boston, as we saw last year in the finals, they had all five of those guys who are, like, versatile, offense, defense, they'll make you defend. There's no hiding when you play the Celtics, and that's where we saw Luka be under the most scrutiny that he's ever been in his career in those NBA finals, where he was having to defend for 40 minutes, and it's like, uh-oh, this doesn't look that great. Oh, he's tired. Oh, he's fouling. Oh, now he's fouled out. Like, that's what happened in that series. But I don't know if anybody in the West really asked those questions of the Lakers, to where I think outside of OKC, because I'd still give the Thunder the edge just because they're so elite on defense. But, man, these other teams, even Golden State included, I would like the Lakers in that series just because they have one of the 3 or 4 best players in the league in Luka, and they have one of the 2 best players of all time in LeBron James, even at age 40, still playing at like a top 10, top 15 level. It's a dynamic duo. It's pretty crazy to say that we needed to see it first, but now that we've seen it, and we're probably even see it more as we start to get Luka feeling a little bit better, I think the Lakers ceiling is rather high, and it could be the ceiling to get to the Western Conference Finals, which I did not believe when they made the trade a few weeks ago.
I'll tell you, man, I don't see why they can't win the Western Conference and go to the NBA Finals. Now, I will admit that as a sports bettor, I allow myself sometimes to be seduced by, like, the sports fan in me, which, like, you're not supposed to do, but I'm very honest and upright about that, and that's why Femi's on the show, because Femi's not going to do that most of the time. But I get swept up in the emotion of the moment sometimes. I see a team with Luka and LeBron, and Redick is the coach, and I like Austin Reeves also. And Redick saying after the game on Saturday, like, this is Luka's offense. It's not LeBron's offense. It's Luka's offense. The offense is going to run through Luka. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's awesome. Because LeBron's almost my age. And I hurt getting out of bed in the morning, man. That's great for LeBron. It's awesome. Yeah. And by the way, like, Austin Reeves can initiate the offense also if you want to give Luka and LeBron even a rest on the offensive side as well a little bit. And let Reeves run the offense here. And if it's going to be at the ends of games in the Western Conference playoffs and the game's close at the end and I get LeBron and Luka and a head coach that's pretty good with the chess moves and trying to figure things out and matchups, etc., I'm going to like the Lakers. And maybe I'm getting seduced by the Laker brand and by the two stars. And I'll admit that up front, that could be the case here. I just know myself, and I know that I'm going to like the Lakers, Femi, in a lot of these series in the Western Conference. And maybe I'm going to be wrong, but I don't see how I'm going to be able to talk myself out of it or be talked out of it at all.
Well, I mean, they put it in this context based off of those JJ Redick comments. LeBron James has never been able to be like the B guy in a playoff series. He's never been able to be the number two. Every single playoff series of his career, he has been the number one option, even at his advanced age of now 40 years old. Like last year, when it was Nuggets Lakers, LeBron was still the one, even though like Anthony Davis was there, it was still LeBron led. Now he gets to be the number two. Which, like you said, like that's gonna, like we're gonna probably see a better defensive version of LeBron. He's never gonna get back to like Miami Heat, like, oh my God, this guy's like dominant on defense and offense. He's never gonna be that since he was like late 20s at that age. But like if he could just be like average defensively, that helps out the Lakers a lot. Because like when he has to be the initiator all the time, that's when it's gonna be like, okay, he needs to take some time off on defense. Oh, he gets blown by because like he just can't give out that sort of effort because of his age. But now that he gets to be the number two guy, like a team with LeBron as the two in the playoffs, like it's very attractive, like in terms of a team that you'd want to bet on. So like I'm not ready to go ahead and put them into the finals.
Why do you like the Thunder more? So why do you like the Thunder more? And then tell us what your bet is, because I just interrupted. You were about to say a bet that you had placed.
Yeah, like I think the Thunder for me, just because they're so good defensively, like everyone on the Thunder is a great defender. Like it's a awesome defensive team, and they have guys like Caruso's coming off the bench. He's an all NBA level defender. Like that's insane. I think their depth and then having the home court advantage, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, like this year has been a better player than Luka. I think Luka's a little bit better of a player, but they're like neck and neck. SGA is that good, as we saw last night with what he was able to do to help the Thunder beat the T-Wolves. Like they have a guy that can go toe-to-toe with Luka, and then they also have the other pieces as well, which I think could be problematic for the Lakers. But in terms of a betting standpoint, if you're looking for a team that would upset the apple cart, and if it's not going to be OKC, I think it is the Lakers. Like if you're looking around, it's the Lakers. If you want to get crazy, maybe Golden State. But right now for me, like the Lakers would be the team I'd be looking to invest in if you were cooler on OKC. You could also do a little Denver as well. Like I think I'm ready to spread all throughout the Western Conference because I think that it's wide open, or more wide open than what the market thinks. But for me, it's Lakers, it's Thunder, Nuggets just based off of Jokic's pedigree and the fact that he's the best player in the league. And then if you want a long shot, which I'm sure we'll talk about as well, the Golden State Warriors now with Jimmy Butler, they seem to be playing some really good basketball as well with what they're doing in the Bay.
You bet here on this Monday, talking the NBA off of this weekend. And I'm on BetMGM right now, and I'm going to try and find here. Okay. So, Femi, do you think the Celtics are going to win the title, or do you just want to bet them to get to the finals?
I just want to bet them to get to the finals.
Okay, so Celtics. Okay, yeah. So I'm trying to look at these prices here. Celtics Thunder is plus 300. That's not great. Celtics Lakers is 14. And let's see, Celtics.
That Warriors price.
Do what? Warriors.
That's a big boy
40.
one. That's the 40-1.
40.
That's the
40.
Like if you're real bullish on the Warriors, that's the one that you can get some real good stuff out of there. But I mean, even that 3-1 on the Thunder that you just mentioned. Like the Thunder are minus 115 to win the West. You can at least like get to the Western Conference Finals and figure something else out with that. I'm just operating on the mindset that I do think Boston's going to win the East. So with that opinion, let's go ahead and bet that out on the Western Conference side as well.
So here's what trips me up a little bit with Oklahoma City getting to the finals. Not saying that they can't, just that, again, like what I was talking about with the Knicks, that in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, when everything slows down to a crawl, if you get the ball out of SGA is obviously amazing. Like, there's no question. He's great. Going to win MVP. unless he gets the Julio Rodriguez hit by a bus. If you get the ball out of SGA's hands and they're playing the Lakers, it's like, okay, like you want to get the ball out of Luka's hands, okay, here's LeBron. Get the ball out of LeBron's hands, okay, here's Luka. And it's not that Oklahoma City doesn't have other good players, like Jalen Williams is awesome. Just like, do you trust Oklahoma City outside of Shea, like to shoot themselves into a playoff win in a spot like that? Also, we talk about pedigree all the time and the NBA teams needing, by and large, with a couple like historical exceptions, but for the most part, you gotta like get knocked down the mound. How many times did the Celtics lose before they won? And Oklahoma City's just gonna cut the line and beat all these teams? Not that they can't. They're the favorite for a reason. They're awesome, right? I've got questions about OKC. And again, this is not me saying that I think the Thunder suck. The Thunder are great. If they play the Lakers, they play the Nuggets with Jokic. I don't know if I'm ready to do this with Golden State yet. Although, like, let's see how this keeps going here with Jimmy Butler, Steph, and Draymond in Golden State. I am a little bit cooler on Oklahoma City, Femi, than a lot of people are. And I'd be looking, like you were saying, you're looking to take shots with the Western Conference and have the Thunder with, like, in that bucket. I'd like to take the Thunder out of the bucket and take some shots with some teams in the Western Conference outside of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I guess it's like, can the Thunder be the 2014-15 Golden State Warriors that went from, like, they made that second round run, then they lost to the Clippers in the Donald Sterling series, which it's funny that we call it that, but that's what it was. They lost that series, and then they won the title the next year. And, like, I think that's kind of the trajectory that Oklahoma City is on. Like,
they just need Jaylen Brown and Porzingis and, like, Derek White to get hurt in the NBA Finals.
Which, yeah, that is what happened. That's the context of history.
Like
Warriors
like
fans are probably mad,
Kevin Love,
but yeah, that's
like Kyrie and Kevin. Sorry, Warriors fans. Like, the Cavs were absolutely up 2-1, and then the Kyrie and Love get hurt in that finals, and then they lose 3 straight.
And it was over, and then the Cavs ran out of gas. But, like, SGA is going to win the MVP.
Here's
like, Curry won the
Dellavedova.
MVP that year. Who played his heart out, by the way. Like, he played his heart. I thought that man was going to need like an IV on the sidelines.
Yeah, there's only so far you can go with, like, Matthew Dellavedova as like your second best player or whatever it was.
Do you want to see the human body pushed to the absolute limit? Matthew Dellavedova, 2015
Here's Matthew
NBA
Dellavedova
Finals.
trying to keep up with Steph Curry.
God bless him, though. Delly.
How old was Cooper Flagg at that point? Like 8? I would have rather had like 8-year-old Cooper Flagg trying to keep up with Steph Curry.
Was he even 8? I mean, it might have been 7. I think he's 17 right now, or whatever it is. But yeah, but anyways, yes.
Okay, yeah.
but I think OKC, like, because like a lot of the numbers, and like I like to like look at the numbers and lean on those, just not just on my eye test. The numbers suggest that they are on that kind of path, to where they're like a historically great defense, and offensively, yes, not what you want from like an offense like to be like historically great. Like, they're good just because they have SGA, but defensively, they're a monster. You have a defense and a home court advantage with a coach like that, and SGA with the ceiling that he has, winning the MVP. I'm going to include OKC in my bucket, even though it's like at a shorter price. I just think that the Thunder, like, we can't lose sight of the fact of how good they've been, even though these other teams look really attractive as well.